Hello, everybody. Come on up, guys. Just come on in tight.
On this side, or you here?
Yeah, somebody over here. There's plenty of room on my right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming at short notice. We're coming at you, if you're watching on a stream, we're coming at you from the Gateway Center here in the brick city of Newark, New Jersey, to offer a quick word of caution about the winter weather headed our way in the next couple of days. Joined to my immediate left by our Chief of Staff and the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti. To my right, the Superintendent of the State Police, Colonel Pat Callahan. And two to my left, the Chief of Staff for the Board of Public Utilities, Taryn Boland. Taryn is pinch hitting for the President of the BPU, Christine Sadovi. So we're here this afternoon for a few minutes because it appears that Mother Nature is making up for some lost time. After a couple of years with hardly any snowfall in New Jersey, today we are headed for our second snowstorm of the week and our third or fourth or fifth storm, even depending on how you count it, over the past month. While you may see some flurries as soon as this evening, we are primarily concerned about the snowfall that is expected to hit really all across New Jersey starting tomorrow morning at around 4 a.m. We're anticipating anywhere between 3 to 6 inches of snow, with, in this case, Central and South Jersey likely to see the most of it. But I think what is at least, if not more concerning, is what may happen after the initial snowfall. By early tomorrow morning, that snow could melt into slush or turn to ice, which will make for a dangerous Friday night commute throughout the Garden State. So if you can, please, please, please consider working from home tomorrow. And in that spirit, I'm announcing herewith that state offices will be closed tomorrow and asking all state employees to please work from home. And if you have to be out in the roads, please go slow, drive with caution, and plan for ice on the roads. Heading into this weekend, New Jersey will be remaining in a state of emergency, which we first declared ahead of the storms that we saw last week. Our State of Emergency Center will be activating tonight to monitor this storm beginning at midnight. And in coordination with our partners in Pennsylvania, Diane, we are also implementing a commercial vehicle ban effective at 3 a.m. We will also be issuing a winter weather advisory tomorrow, as in the middle of the night, at 4 a.m. for 15 of our counties. I'm going to read the counties, and then I'm going to remind you which counties do not have this advisory. So the advisory, beginning at 4 a.m., will be for the following counties: Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, Gloucester, Hunterdon, Mercer, Middlesex, Monmouth, Morris, Ocean, Salem, Somerset, Sussex, and Warren counties. The counties I did not name, which don't have a weather advisory, but by the way, it won't be 75 and sunny in these counties either, are Bergen, Passaic, Essex, Union, Cape May, and Hudson. As Taryn will get into, the Board of Public Utilities has been engaged with our electric power providers, and they're all standing ready for any challenges or outages. Obviously, if you do experience an outage, as we always say, don't assume somebody else is calling it in. Call it in yourself. And certainly if you come across downed wires, do not go near them. We lost lives early in our administration. Please call them in. Taryn, I don't want to either put words in your mouth or steal thunder from you right now. I think we think this is more fluffy snow than the heavy wet snow that we saw the last time out, but that could shift as it is Mother Nature. The Department of Transportation under Diane's leadership is coordinating with NJ Transit, and by the way, Diane is the chair of NJ Transit, and other transportation partners to ensure our roadways are properly plowed and maintained for motorists on the roads as well as folks taking public transit. So if you're driving and you see officials tending to our roads, please clear the roadway and let them pass safely. We have had tragedy in this respect in the past, so please, please be careful. Additionally, the DOT will be issuing, and Diane will get into this in more detail, an administrative order and towing edict, which and separately, NJ Transit is prepared to cross-honor tickets based on weather conditions as well. As always, you can keep track of the latest. The best place I always think to go is, because it's all-encompassing, is ready.nj.gov. Or you can go through the state's official social media channels, including at Governor Murphy, or at Gov Murphy, I should say, on the platform formerly, when are we going to stop saying this? On the platform formerly known as Twitter. Also, if you're worried about NJ Transit, njtransit.com. With that, please help me welcome the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation and our Chief of Staff, Diane Gutierrez-Scachetti. Diane?
Thanks, Gov. Good evening, everyone. As Governor said, New Jersey DOT, New Jersey Turnpike, South Jersey Transportation Authorities, and NJ Transit are fully prepared to address the storm. Notwithstanding several events over the past several days, equipment and inventory are in good shape. We're more than ready, both from a manpower standpoint, equipment, and materials to fight the storm. The commercial vehicle travel ban the governor mentioned will go into effect at 3 a.m. in coordination with our partners in Pennsylvania on Interstates 76, 78, 80, 195, Route 280, 287, 295, 676, and New Jersey Route 440. And those bans will be on those highways in their entirety. All tractor trailers, empty straight CDL weighted trucks, passenger vehicles pulling trailers, recreational vehicles, motorcycles, and others will be banned for the period of time that the administrative order is in place. The administrative order will be posted online, and there are several exceptions for critical services such as EMTs, law enforcement, food distribution, and others that are exempt from the ban. But you can see that in the administrative order. It's important to note that this does not apply, the order does not apply to the Turnpike, the Garden State Parkway, or the Atlantic City Expressway. The Colonel will go into the towing edict, but just a couple of reminders, and it's the same requests we make all the time. If you have to go out, please give yourself plenty of time to get where you are going. It is likely you will see reduced speeds, and those are maximum speed limits, so please obey those speed limits. Take your time. And give plowing teams plenty of room. They will be out there. This is plowable snow, so you will see plenty of plowing crews out and about the state. Give them plenty of space. Try not to get in between them. It is unsafe. And again, you know, we have seen tragedies. We don't want to see any more. So please, please, please give the workers the room they need to get their work done. Please have an emergency kit in your car: a blanket, water, snacks, phone charger, flashlight. If you go to ready.nj.gov, you'll get updates. If you get stuck behind an accident, it's always good to have some necessary supplies in your car. We just ask again for your patience. A storm that goes to from a Friday to a Saturday is always helpful because most folks can stay home on Saturday. Let us get these roads clean, up and running, and you will be back in business, I promise, before you know it. So, Gov, with that, back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Diane, and all good advice. And again, as our policies on the transportation and any front evolve, we will make sure we communicate. So thank you, Diane. With that, please help me welcome the Superintendent of the State Police, Colonel Pat Callahan.
Thank you, Governor. I'll be brief. We will be activating the State Emergency Operations Center tonight at midnight. That'll remain activated throughout the entire weekend. And that is really to monitor what's going on across the entire state, as well as to address any resource requests that come in from our county partners. We had multiple calls today with the National Weather Service, including our county OEM coordinators as well as our state emergency management partners, primarily Board of Public Utilities, DEP, and DOT. They are certainly all poised and ready for this storm. As with regard to that towing edict, that really just gives law enforcement, beyond even the state police, the ability to tow cars that may impede those snow removal or salting operations. So that's why it's important that if you don't have to be out there, don't be out there. But if your vehicle is abandoned for any reason, that it will most likely be towed with regards and as a result of this edict. I also stress the temperatures out there are going to dip tomorrow night down into the teens. All 21 counties have their code blue activations up. That is warming centers in every county, and the best place to go is www.nj.gov NJ211, NJ211. If you just Google that, that'll pop up. We think it's critical that New Jersey residents understand those warming centers where they are, given the nature of these cold temps. And I just re-stress, this is a kind of a storm that may be deceiving, and the back end of it may be a little bit more troublesome than the front end, to the governor's point. But Saturday, although less commuters, that wind and light snow may have our roadways being recovered again. So just because it becomes Saturday and it's not snowing, the winds may impact us again. And lastly, to Diane's point, I certainly ask that we keep that move over law in mind. We've had far too many close calls on blue sky sunny days, and when troopers are out with motor vehicle crashes in the snow and ice, when they're out with spin outs into the guardrails or into the median, just afford them the space and the opportunity to also go home to their families at the end of this shift. Thanks, Gov.
Thanks, Pat. Before Taryn comes up, the main highways, Diane, I think have been absolutely spectacular. Local roads, less so. So you've got the reality of we just had snow, kind of froze in, and then you're going to have snow and ice and wind on top of that. So to your point, Pat, it may get worse toward the end as opposed to the beginning. Again, please help me welcome the Chief of Staff of the Board of Public Utilities, Taryn Boland. Taryn, come on down. Actually, I'll do this for you.
Oh, thank you, Governor.
My pleasure.
I joked that there's just a little difference between you and I with the mic height. Thanks, Governor. I'm here today on behalf of New Jersey Board of Public Utilities President Christine Gould-Sadovi, who could not be here. She and our Department of Emergency Management team has been in contact with all of our electric utilities, who are all fully staffed and holding crews for this weather event, and we will remain in contact with them and monitor their performance throughout the duration of the event. We want to just remind folks to keep your phones and devices charged. We're not expecting super high winds in this storm, but in the event of an outage, you're going to need your cell phone to report the outage to your utility. Don't assume that your neighbors have called it in. You should report it yourself so that we can get to it as quickly and safely as possible. As the governor said, any downed wires, assume they're live. Stay at least 30 feet from downed wires and call 911 to report it. Again, we don't expect high winds, but anytime the wind goes over 39 miles an hour, our utility crews cannot go up and restore lines. It's not safe for them, and their safety is paramount in these events. So we ask for your patience should the wind exceed 39 miles an hour. Again, just want to reiterate that, as Pat was talking about, this is some of the coldest weather we've had, and we'll have this coming weekend. We know how important it is to have your heat on, so if you do lose power, please report it to the utility. That readynj.gov has the websites for all of the utilities, all of their contact information. We put it out on our social media, including the platform formerly known as Twitter, the NJBPU account. The governor's office retweets it as well, and OEM has it. So stay tuned to the forecast, stay tuned to all the social media channels, and report any outages should they occur. Thank you.
Thank you, Taryn. This formerly known as Twitter reminds me, I have some friends who started a foundation. They couldn't come up with a name, so they named it as a placeholder, the foundation to be named later, and that's what it's still called 20 years later. Thank you, Taryn, and please give Christine our best. Any quick questions we have? I would just say in conclusion, two observations. One is, on topic, it feels like we're in one of these cycles. Diane and Pat have done almost countless of these with me. We had Joe obviously with us for many years, and now Christine and Taryn is pinch hitting, but it feels like we're in a rut right now in terms of these storms, and they're coming sort of fast and furious. We've seen that. I'm not a meteorologist, but it feels like there's a pattern here that we're in, so I hope I'm wrong. Secondly, just as a historical note, this is the second press conference we've ever done in this room. And I hope this does not portend the future. Pat, you were with me, is the very first COVID press conference was here in February of 2020. It was the only one we ever did here. And let's hope that the pattern that we're talking about doesn't get anywhere near as grave as those dark days. Thank you all.